A couple of people have joined in.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah.
Well, I'll first start out. I just received this wonderful book. Oh, she's gorgeous. Art
The
of
Art of
War.
War. I've heard
and
about this
other
book.
classic Eastern philosophies.
Okay.
It's a beautiful book.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful book.
Mm-hmm.
A additive to my collection. It's so unique.
Okay.
Eastern philosophy
Some of your
compared to
relatives
Western.
gave it to you, or some friend, close friend of yours, some acquaintance, or?
Nah, I just bought it.
Okay, you bought it. Okay, you were talking about
Yeah, I
buying
was
some
just,
books online the other day.
yeah,
It's the same book, I
No,
believe.
that was one of them. Yeah, and that was one of them. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so radically different to Western thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, because from what little I've read so far, it's more about peace. They want to do more philosophies about peace,
Okay.
particularly in China, because in China they were at war with each other, warring states.
Mm-hmm.
All the warlords are constantly fighting and bickering each other for like thousands of years. The only real peace they had was when they were at the Three Kingdoms.
Okay.
But even then, they were at each other's throats. So, while with Western, it's more existential, more about societal, but Eastern's more about the individual. I noticed that about now. Yeah, but I love the Art of War. It's very interesting. Sun Tzu did not like defensive tactics. He loved offensive. He thought defensive was cowardice.
Okay.
Okay. Want to see his tactics change if he was in modern times.
I've heard about this book in a couple of movies, Hollywood movies, which I've seen, The Art of War. And basically those movies are related to war only. So the thing, I don't know what's the premise of this book is about, but I'm guessing if we are talking about China, we are talking about Buddhism, the expanse of Buddhism also in this. Because when I looked, as I talked to you the other day, as I was not talking, but we were chatting on Facebook. So you mentioned to me about your Eastern philosophy, your discovery towards Eastern philosophy, and how different it is from our Western philosophy. So I was digging up into what it is and what's it all about, and what I saw was the expanse of Buddhism and Jainism. As I was making my thumbnail today, as you saw the thumbnail, people, you can leave a like if you like the thumbnail. So the thumbnail which I made today, as I was searching for various thumbnails, what I saw was mythology, Indian mythology, Buddhism, Jainism, and a little bit of Taoism. So I don't know. What's your take on that? What's more?
Well, I heard the history of Buddha.
Okay.
How Buddha was son of a very wealthy king, and the king didn't want the child to have suffering, so he walled his castle and made sure the child stayed there. And apparently, it was prophecy that he was either going to be a spiritual leader or king, a really great king. And eventually the child got bored because he got everything and all that. So he ventured into the world where there's so much suffering and so much indignities, and but he loved it because it was real, it was there. And that's how the Buddha came to be. Long story short, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember he was having a philosophical awakening, per se. And he wanted to stay by a tree and to attain philosophical understanding. And he would never leave that tree until he did, which eventually did. He nearly starved himself to death, but he got there.
So
I'm sure there's a whole lot better ways to attain philosophy than sit under a tree. Man, it's crazy.
So couple of people have joined in. Kuldeep for fun, and Kuldeep has joined in for fun. I don't know why people tend to hide their names, but for fun has joined in. So hello Matthew, hello Faraz, hello, how you all are doing? And the thing is, please, whomsoever is in the community, please do share the link and ask people to join in and come up with good questions which we could answer. We would try to answer them. So this thing about Buddhist philosophy, the thing is, have you seen Buddha, his image, if you might have seen him, his
Yeah.
image is like he is having some curly stuff on his hair. His head is all covered up with some curly stuff. Have you given a thought about it?
Curly stuff. I thought he was bald.
No, he was bald. He was bald. But the thing was, when you see Buddha's images, you see some shell-like structure on his head.
Yeah. I think I know exactly what you're on about.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna quickly Google it. I think I know exactly what you're on about. I think that's like radiant light to like a crown of awakening radiant light. I think that's how they said it.
Yeah, so it's covered. It's many people confuse it with hair or some kind of hairstyle, but it's basically when Buddha was. Yeah, you got it.
Got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I know what you're on about now. Yeah.
When Buddha was the tree which you were talking about, a couple of minutes ago, he was sitting under the same tree, and he was sitting there meditating, and he was so into meditation. He was in a trance, so the sun was scorching his skin, so all this and his head, so he was about to get a heat stroke or some kind of stuff. I don't know the full in detail. So snails in and around the grass there, they came and covered his head, Buddha's head. Yeah, so this is what it is.
Well, there you go.
So
I remember Buddhism was extensively strong in India back in ancient times, weren't they?
Buddhism started from India. Buddha's actual name was Siddhartha. So
I have heard of that.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that in a podcast somewhere. Yes.
Yeah, Siddhartha, and somebody is mentioning in the chat also Siddhartha. So he was actually in the east. He belonged to the eastern, not very much eastern, but eastern part of India, a kingdom there. So that state, I believe, is Bihar. Present day India is Bihar, and he was all, as you told, he was all walled up, and he was not allowed to go out. And as the sun used to set, he was called inside his house, and he was asked. He didn't know that night exists. So that was the audacity of his father trying to pull him away from suffering. His father didn't want him to see suffering, but then he insisted. One of his horsemen, one of his chariotmen, whatever the word is, and he told that,
servant or something.
Yeah, please take me out. I want to see. I want to see. I don't know if he's a father of martial arts. Someone is writing he's a father of martial arts. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, what a shitty way of existing, eh? That'd be more hell than going out through life itself. Just like anything you want to do, it just gets because you might get pain, or like the pain's the greatest teacher, isn't it? But yeah, it's just that's a shitty way to go. Yeah, so he went through all these stages. When he went out of the premises of his palace, he saw a poor man who was begging for food. He was all skinny, his bones were showing up, and he was all malnutrition. And he asked the chariotman, "Who's this?" So he said, "He's a poor guy. He's a beggar." Then then further he moved ahead, and he saw another homeless who was lying down beside the walkway or pathway, and he was ill. He was coughing, or he was having fever, whatever it is, and he was about to die. His whole body was filled with maggots. So and the next thing he saw was the body of an actual person being carried away. So he asked, what is this? So he said, the horseman started laughing. That he might be thinking, such a dimwit he is, and he was 18 plus at that time. 18, I believe. He was 16 or 18 at that time. So so the chariotman said that this is what the cycle of life is. You get old, you get ill, and you die. So he got curious that I want to explore this. He invented the Shaolin temples in China. He's basically the father of Kung Fu. I don't think so. That's a correct state. Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's right. Shaolin monks do follow Buddhism. I know that for a fact, but I don't know. Because he was a very peaceful person. Such a man cannot, develops.
Buddhism is the ultimate pacifist.
Yep.
Route.
Yeah.
Unlike Christianity and Islamic. There's definitely more peaceful, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think so. But we can surely check that out. So.
But I guess the prophecy was kind of like right. He was a spiritual leader. Well, much later on, though.
When I was small, one of my father's not acquaintance, he was his colleague in office. He used to do this astrology and shit. Astrology and shit. And he professed about me that this guy, me, is gonna be, he will talk and the world will listen. It was like that. And he was like, either he's gonna be a political leader, which I don't think so, but time will tell. He said that he's gonna either be gonna be a political leader, or he's gonna be a talk. He'll just talk and the world will listen to him. I believe it's somewhat true now, because whatever I'm doing is talking. We are talking
to the world.
Yep. So that's what the thing is. So have you gone deeper into this book, or have you started reading this book, Art of War?
Just started reading, but I can already tell the huge differences in thought.
Okay.
Western's existential, societal, and Eastern is all about the peace, the Zen, through all the conflict. They're a little bit like Stoicism.
Stoicism, right?
Just a little pinch of Stoicism. I was like, yes, Stoicism could be there too.
Yeah.
But and the concept of death is just like, it happens.
Yep.
Because they're just so used to it in most of those areas, and it's just because it's constant state of war, constant death, plague, war. I mean, fuck. I thought Europe was bad. Yeah, nah. Over the eastern part was way worse.
Yeah, so peace is the premise of the book.
Yeah, it's mainly about just peace within yourself.
Okay.
And just more so, shit happens.
Yeah.
So hence a little pinch of Stoicism to it.
Oh.
I look forward to finishing off. I remember me and my friends were laughing at one thing. What was it called?
Someone is asking who wrote the Art of War. Someone is asking who wrote the Art of War.
Sun Tzu, very, very, very famous Chinese general.
Okay.
Scored a lot of victories. Think of him as more like the Chinese equivalent of Caesar, in a way, militarily. Didn't get backstabbed 26 times. Yeah.
So, so the thing is it trying to whatever you read or whatever you you tried digging into the Eastern philosophy? So, are they trying to cover up their existential crisis, or are they giving you a tool to overcome your existential crisis? What's it like?
I think it's a tool.
Okay.
To just say, yeah, shit happens. Deal with it.
Okay.
And that's it. That's just basically the core principle. I mean, there's a lot of shit you have to go by to find those golden nuggets, but it's interesting because these people have been through so much shit, and they needed philosophy because their government systems are constantly built up in a rapid succession because of the warring states. So they needed philosophy to make a sort of governance system.
Okay.
Which they did, sort of. And that's when our man Confucius came about. Very famous man Confucius. Very famous. Although, funny enough, he thought he would die unfamous.
Oh.
So I remember listening and reading something about that. Confucius thought that all of his philosophies, all of his stuff would just go away. But no, still alive even thousands and thousands of years afterwards.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of his quotes. One was very beautiful. Please correct me, chat, if I'm wrong. But it was like, you get two chances to gain. You get 2 births, right? The one birth is the normal birth that you get, and the other one is when you realize the fact that you're gonna die. So that is your other birth. So that was something. That was a mic drop moment. Mic drop moment. So I heard it in Joe Rogan podcast. So I watched a couple of podcasts. So this is what it is. Kuldeep is asking. Let us take a couple of questions here. So Matthew, do you finish books once you start reading a book, and how many days normally it takes to finish one book or any book?
You see, I'm a cursed man. I have big ass tomes like this.
Yeah.
And they take months to finish, because it's not like philosophy books require a different sort of reading to it. It's not, you can't just skim it.
Yep, that's the point.
You have to absorb it. You have to learn it. You have to interpret it, each and every passage. So it's a very slow process. I mean, I'm like nearly finished one that's taken me like...
How many pages
three
are
months.
there in this book?
Oh God, over 1,000.
People, you're gonna shit yourself. 1,000. We can't even read 150 pages. Me especially.
1,005 pages.
1,000 plus pages, and he is having bigger books, thicker books. So
yeah, but yeah, also have little ones.
Little
like
ones.
these, like this. This only took me like a few weeks. So it's really, really tiny one. I'm like, it's confusing as fuck though.
What's this book? What's this book on? What's the name of the book?
Early Ionian thinkers, ancient Greek philosophy.
Okay. Yeah, people. What they do is they tend to see others reading some kind of book, and they go and buy those books, and in what we can call it as, in a thought that they would complete the book. But these books are very, above our level. So you should be having the premise, the background of philosophy in general.
Just
grasp these
read
books.
it slowly.
Yeah.
It's like how I do it is, if I don't understand it, I don't progress. I just keep on doing it until I understand. Like, okay, I got it. Move on.
For a beginner, what sort of philosophical books would you recommend? Who is starting out, like people in the chat who are just starting out in philosophy, what kind of books would you recommend them to read?
I recommend Book of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
That it's a short book.
Okay.
It's Stoicism. And it's really easy because it's just a bunch of quotes that he's made. It's nothing with long passages of weird text, of weird high English things. It's just simple quotes. I always recommend it to anyone who first starts out philosophy. It's just that book.
Okay.
Start that out. Or The Republic by Plato.
Okay.
Good old political philosophy, that stuff. I'm also getting that book. His complete works, Plato's complete works. 2,000 pages. I'm looking forward to it, but not looking forward to it at the same time. That's a thick ass book. It's like thick ass. But yeah.
Hearing the name, hearing how many pages it is having, I did shat myself. So the thing is, if you don't want to shit yourself, you should be starting the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and Republic by Plato, right? You could dive into these books and start your philosophical journey if you are into books. Because what people tend to do is they tend to see fancy books online. For example, many people in India, I don't know if it's a fad, a kind of fashion or whatever it is, they tend to dive very much into people like Friedrich Nietzsche. They start their philosophical journey by existentialism, which is something which you should be reading at last, because you need to have
Yes.
something to create an existential crisis, to take up existentialism and then come out of it. You're not having an existential
more
crisis.
so.
Yeah, go on.
That's like learning to swim in the deep end.
Yep.
If you don't have that much philosophical practice, his works can just go.
Yep. Even if you tend to understand the meaning of the books, you're not able to understand the audacity of that book is having, the real meaning which it's trying to preach.
I think also it's really good, like, this is what I always tend to do. I always like to look at the history of the author.
Okay.
It's one thing reading the book, but you need to know what the hell they've been through in order for them to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, they write books.
That's very important, yeah.
Because of their situations which they've been in, and the books often don't tell that. Because, like, with Socrates, he was constantly preaching on political injustice and all that. Even though he never wrote any books, his students did. And it's mainly about political philosophy and all that. Every author's been through some interesting event or have some interesting lives, which I've noticed, and I have a guilty thing. They're usually in the introductions. I skip those. I like to go straight into it. Like, whenever I receive this big ass book, I'm like, and when I see the introduction, like, skip. That's always been a guilty habit of mine. I'm trying to get out of that, but getting there.
My guilty habit is reading every page, be it the annexure. I tend to read every page of the book. I don't know, when I'm starting out, and that tends to, shoot me with the boredom, and that's when I leave the book.
Yeah.
So
that's what I recommend. Like, read 1 or 2 pages every day. That'll work. Or just listen to really cool music and do that. I mean, I listen to classical music while I read.
Okay.
Very, very cliche.
Classical, Beethoven music. Beethoven and one more guy is there. I don't remember his name.
Chopin.
There was this guy. I don't remember. There was there's this one more guy. I was listening to orchestral music. Friedrich Nietzsche considered him to be his father figure, and I just tried to.
Mozart?
No, not Mozart. He was. I'm forgetting his name, but I tried listening to his music, and it's pretty good. The music, it's pretty melancholic, but it's still good. So that's what the thing is. Someone is asking, philosophy. Oh no, somebody's saying something. Philosophy is slowly elevating my life. Good for you. All the best for that. And Matthew, how you have improved your vocabulary?
How did I improve my vocabulary? Reading, talking, especially talking. You talk more, you obtain more. Reading is good, but there's no point in learning new words if you're not even going to use them. That's why you constantly be a chatterbox. But more so, it's a bit of an ego boost too. If ever you say an intelligent word, go, wow, you're smart. You're Einstein. Like, yeah, mate. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I do it. Just talk and talk and talk and talk. Just like a little bit of reading to add to it. Or like with my uni studies, I use the thesaurus in my essays and stuff, in case there's a word that I could that could be a bit fancier. Type up the thesaurus and then boom. Do you guys use the thesaurus?
Not really.
No?
Okay. Not really. And many people would not know the meaning of that, if you can elaborate.
Okay, yeah. It's basically like a big dictionary. It's where you have, where they say a simple word, and then they give you a lot of complicated words for it to make your essays, assignments to look more fancy, more professional and academic. Yeah, it's very common in England and Australia. Not too sure about America, but thesaurus is very, very common. We learn that stuff since like primary school.
Okay.
And it's usually weird to see a classroom without one.
So that's how you improve your vocabulary. And
yeah,
Matthew, how can we write our philosophical worksheets? What's a philosophical worksheet?
A philosophical worksheet? I've never heard of that. I just write it down. Okay.
If he's trying to say,
way,
if he's trying to say research paper, I don't know if he's talking about a research paper.
I think because I'm also writing a book on philosophy, so I guess I can help in that regard. See, I don't write structure. I just go what's in my mind. Like I just write it. There's no real structure until like later on. But have a brief explanation first on your top bit of your paper, then your body explaining that work, and then use an example below, like in a problem. Like I'll use stoicism for a second. Okay, problem. The earth is going to die. Everyone's going to die, right? So that's the problem. Solution, well, you can't really have a solution for it. So, oh well, that's the solution. It's a very weird solution, but it's a solution. I suppose it'll mentally calm you, ish. And that's how you do it. And then you write about that. I think, yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah. You write an example of how you can apply it. Problem, solution, explanation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Problem, solution, explanation. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe if you're talking about research paper, then you should also be a research paper tends to cover what are the fallacies, if there are any fallacies in the previous work, because it's a research paper, because it's something which has been discovered and you are trying to research it. That's why it's research. So you are trying to improve upon what has been poised before. So you should be also considering what the other philosopher, if that's about a philosophy paper, then you should be taking into consideration what arguments or what things, what facts. Basically philosophy is not about facts, but what things are you not in favor of and what are you trying to improve. So you should be, that's why you should be well versed with the history of philosophy. So that is one more important thing. But I think so if you are just starting out, you should not be getting into writing philosophy papers, because that is something.
That's some complicated stuff there.
Yep, I was trying to write a couple of papers, but when I saw how to prepare them for them to get accepted in some prestigious university, I shut myself. And
yeah, I think I'd shit myself too.
Yeah. And
maybe we'll just submit it to an online community. That's probably, you'll get more attention then than at a university.
So this is what the thing is, and you should not be getting too much into it. The philosophy lectures are awesome. If you're talking about my philosophy lectures, then thank you. So Matthew, have you watched Jordan Peterson debates? What's your thought on Jordan Peterson?
Jordan Peterson, yeah, that dude. He's a psychologist. He's more of a political philosopher. Out of magic, so he mainly talks about political stuff. And he gives SJWs the right fucking slapping, which is good. You know, I reckon the world needs more people like him. Just like he's not afraid to say it. You know, he doesn't think of a block. He's like, no, people I'm going to offend him. I'm not going to do it. He goes, no, fuck that. I'm going to say it. If you don't like it, suck it. And I really like his ideas. And just the way he goes about things. You know, he's gained so much popularity just like not giving a shit. So I like him. He's cool.
So, Dr. Peterson, now what do you think of Prakhar ke Pravachan? We'll not take something up which do not have a, which people are not able to grasp the audience, because many of our audience are from Europe and America, so they won't get who that person is. So I'll not give any views on him. Any more questions you people can ask? You can just write your questions on here and share the stream. If you are in the Discord server, please share the link.
Do you know who that one is? Prakar?
He's a guy, he's just trying to teach psychology in India. Trying to he's just trying to introduce psychology in India. And because people are very much fascinated by psychology, they're like, if we know how to maneuver psychology, we can control people's mind, and we'll able to get ladies down to the bed and all those kind of shit.
That's the same here. A lot of people interested in psychology here for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, so for all the wrong reasons.
Well, I mean, a lot of people want to delve into it, but then they realize like shit's complicated. So yeah, nah.
So no, I'm not very much into. When I started my YouTube channel, the other one, so I used to keep the premise of my videos in and around psychology and philosophy, but now I'm shifting more towards philosophy. So that's what it is. And someone, Rage Thunder, is saying also Jordan Peterson is a father figure to many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also a hellraiser for a lot of others.
Whatever he speaks, I've heard a couple of his debates, but whatever he speaks, it goes beyond my, capability to grasp.
He can get a little bit too complicated real quick. I notice he's like fast. He's a fast talker.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of need to in a debate, but yeah, I can understand that.
If you're a fast talker and you are able to use your jargons correctly, then you win a debate anyways, because the opposer cannot grasp what you're trying to say. So
I always like to speak rather nice, firm, and slow when it comes to a debate, so people can understand me, and so they can't use, oh, you didn't say that clearly enough. No. Oh shit, yes I did.
I don't know if that's a tactic to distract the opposer or whoever's challenging you to so that he cannot fallacize you on your arguments. Because you're talking so fast, you can give in a couple of arguments extra, which you didn't mean to, and you cannot take out the fallacy in your argument. So I believe that's why you rush your speech. But if you're talking slow, if your rate of delivery is very slow, we can find those cracks and exploit them. Like, this is where you're wrong. This is,
and it's a very cheap trick.
Yeah, that's a very cheap trick. So I've seen a couple of people in the Indian YouTube bubble also who are into this psychology stuff. Who, what they do is they either tend to get very aggressive, start personally attacking you when they are losing a debate, or they try to use very technical terms, because they know that will that you'll not be able to wrap your head around it. So that's two way when you're losing to come out of a debate.
As soon as they do that, that's when you realize you've won. They're getting angry and all that. It's like,
that's what I've understood. What happens is, when someone tries to personally attack you in a debate, in return you also, that's a transaction which is being created, and you tend to give a reply, a very commendable reply, and that's where you lose your game. So what you need to is to stay quiet. What do you think of Marcus Aurelius? For fun is asking.
Love the man.
He's in love with the man.
The Stoic, but he's also a dumbass.
Okay.
Appointing Commodus as emperor. That man makes no sense in his infinite wisdom. You just stare at the man who's been trained under politics, economics, military. Nah, just give me my son, bro. No. That's the dumbest thing he's ever done. But other than that, he held the Roman Empire pretty good. He was constantly being invaded by the Germans in the frontier. He actually led most of the campaigns himself. Also, while writing his philosophy and learning Stoicism, he's dealt with a lot of tragedy. His wife betrayed him. Yeah, his son was a dipshit, and yeah, he still kept his calm and cool. And the fact that most philosophers or modern people, they start out with his book because it's just so simple and relevant. Like his wife betraying him, right? That's a relatively common thing. Well, betrayal doesn't have to be a wife. It could be a husband, wife, whatever. But a betrayal is a betrayal. And yeah, he writes about that and how to deal with that and all sorts of cool shit like that. Yeah. He's a cool dude. He knows what he's on about.
Marcus Aurelius was a very disciplined individual. So he's writing the same thing. Marcus, yeah, very disciplined individual. So bringing our topic of discussion back to Eastern philosophy, yeah. So that guy is Richard Wagner, the composer which I was talking about.
Richard
Wagner. So Friedrich Nietzsche used to call him his father figure, and so that's the music which I was listening to. I just, out of curiosity, it's not like I'm following Friedrich Nietzsche and I'm his die-hard fan. It's just, I just, felt curious and tried looking into his music, and it was pretty good. It was pretty melancholic and it was pretty good. Similar to the taste of Friedrich Nietzsche's writing. And many
give it a go.
And that is what I was trying to bring the premise to, which was when we were talking about books, what these people tend to do is they tend to look philosophers like Nietzsche as very cool, and then they tend to take up his books like the Spokes Zarathustra, the most famous book, Will to Power and Beyond Good and Evil. And these books you should be reading them, but this book needs a very strong philosophical background for you to understand it. You might be saying, I do understand each and every line of it. I know every nook and corner of that book, but still, to understand the whole essence of that book, you need to have a firm grip on philosophy, the history of philosophy, as we were talking about Greek philosophy, Roman philosophy, ancient. Today's topic is Eastern philosophy. So the thing is, coming back to Eastern philosophy, what my question to you is, most of us in India are being, all these people who are Muslims or Christians, they have been influenced by emperors who conquered India. For example, in the southern India, most of the Christians are in the southern part of India, and they were conquered by Portuguese, French, English. So they converted them into this Catholic Christians. And the emperors, the Mughals who came into India, you might have heard about Mughals.
Yes, I have. It's in The Rise and Fall of the British Empire book. It talked quite a lot about how the East India Trading Company was dealing with the Mughals to weasel their way into power.
It took,
and also bribing them and all that stuff. Yeah.
So Mughals,
they're basically equivalent to a lord, aren't they? Yeah.
Mughals. Yeah, they had conquered the whole of India, and after the Roman Empire, Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan, all of these great conquerors, then the Mughals were the one who were very prominent, and they ruled India. So what today's Indian government is doing, they are changing every name of every city or every railway station or anything which Mughals kept into Hindu name. So this is also a political stunt which they are playing. So the government, if coming to a little bit of political philosophy, government in India, what they are trying to do is they are trying to say that Muslims have conquered our India. Our India was the golden bird, and they should be having Hindu rule over India. Hinduism should be the primary focus of Indians. So there's this rift which is always going in between Hindus and Muslims. And if we are forced to say stuff like in our university, there was this shit which was going on CA and RC that you have to prove your citizenship, and you are forced to say stuff like shit like some sentences like Hinduistic sentences, and if you do not say them, you are called as Pakistani, and the same people tend to forget that we were the ones who were with you whilst we were beating the shit out of England and Britain, the people of Britain, to for them to leave India. So that's what it is. So the my point was, Buddhism is not very prominent in India, right? It started from India. The roots of Buddhism is in India, and there are still tourist spots out there in Bihar, which is again a state of India. So we are having all these old ancient universities like Nalanda, which is considered to be the oldest university. And so what's your take on Eastern philosophy? If I want to frame the question like this: Eastern philosophy 500 years ago, Buddhism, which was the actual Buddhism or actual Eastern philosophy, and what Eastern philosophy has now become. Is it a fashion? Is it a fad? Or it's just kind of fancy
Oh, it's
stuff?
totally a fashion.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Especially in Australia or England or America, it's like, say, I'm a Buddhist.
Yeah, because I've seen people in Australia also. I've seen a couple of YouTubers who are keeping the statues of Lord Ganesh and Gautam Buddha in their background, and they're like, we are Buddhists, we are monks, we follow monk life. And what's your thought on that? What's your take on that?
Stupid. I mean, Buddhism, it's peace. It's removing desire. It's removing all forms of violence, all violent form of thought. Yeah, they couldn't do shit. It's because spirituality is just so commonplace, so much of a fad. It's ridiculous. I think that just because they think they're a spiritualist, just to go with those modern times, and they just doesn't work. I'm sure the people who actually actively follow that stuff would be insulted to just see these people like, yeah, Buddhist, he gives it a shit name. Kind of like philosophy in that sense. And yes, I don't know why. I don't know why people don't think that. Like, I really can't comprehend. Like, just thinking one day, alright, dude, let's become Buddhists. Don't get it. I don't get it. I just what?
Because spirituality, the backbone of spirituality, what these people call themselves as, is I believe, or whatever I have read, it is coming out of Buddhist philosophy, right? Of the concept of Zen, the concept of peace, the concept of being very calm, not taking into consideration Stoicism, but rather because Stoicism is not very prominent. It's not become a religion, for God's sake, if God exists. So it's not become a religion, but still Buddhism has become a religion, which it didn't mean to be, right?
Yeah, it was originally just meant to be a school of philosophy, but turned into a religion. It's I guess that's just how things go over time. Things shift and warp, and concepts change all the time. So that's just part of life. I mean, we can't really do anything about that. That's just an inevitability. Really. Yeah. I mean, it's sad. But
that's what the thing is. And Buddhism was something which was very, very linear, right? And these spiritual people are trying to divert away from this. They're like all these hippies. I don't like to use this word, but all these hippies, what they're trying to do is they're trying to take in psychedelics. They're trying to close in the gap. What spirituality actually tends to tell is you have to go through a journey to attain enlightenment, spiritual awakening, right? Through meditation and through doing good deeds, by doing good deeds. And by taking psychedelics, you're trying to bridge in the gap. So what's the essence left? So these people are taking freedom, they are taking freedom in the name of spirituality.
Yeah.
And Buddhism is being exploited in this. the term Buddhism is being exploited.
Psychedelics. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, one thing which I don't tend to understand is which is these Buddhist people tell you that you should not have any attachment to any materialistic stuff, be it your clothing, or be it anything. Yeah, be it wearing earrings or wearing a nose pin or whatever it is, tattoos and all that shit. But what they are doing is they are shaving their heads. So in a way, you are some way or the other trying to portray yourself as different from the crowd. Because if you do not shave your head, you cannot get into Buddhism. You're not allowed to be a monk. So why is that? So my question is, growth of hair is a very natural process, and you should let it be. And if you're shaving your head, then you are attaching yourself to shaving the head because you want to become a monk. You want to be like a monk. You want to show yourself different from the crowd. So that's an attachment to itself. So
I'll admit, Buddhist monks have cool ass robes. I like their robes. The nice orange robes, like it's cool.
In India, there are 3 or 4 robes. There are 3 or 4 colors. Yeah, orange, I believe, orange, red, a little bit brownish tint they are having, and one more robe. I don't, and yellow. I don't know what.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, I don't know what's the designation of each robe or what's the premise. Now, but the thing is, it's very much you are trying to put people into hierarchy. So that's also creating a diversion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the same. I mean, that's pretty much natural with most human sort of control structures, is having a hierarchy. I mean, that's also an inevitability, isn't it? So plus, it's kind of cool, ranking, if you're ambitious enough, ranking yourself up. Like in a video game, just leveling up.
I was watching this video of this guy who was a monk in Thailand or Philippines, I don't know. And he was showing his life, what we eat in a day. So this is how cleverly they are, fooling the society in the name of Buddhism. So these people are non-vegetarians. And I was just shocked to see a Buddhist who are all claiming to be very much, in peace and not killing anything, and whatever it is, removing suffering, and they are eating animals. And how they are eating animals, this is a very clever thing which they are doing. So they are going houses, so their ritual is they when they wake up, they do their meditation, they do their rituals, then they just stray off into the streets and they go in front of the houses, and whatever people offer them, they take it. And they are like, this is what our offering is, and this is what that hot lady gave us, so this is what we should be having. So if it's chicken, be it beef, be it pork, it's just an offering. We are not killing any animal. So I had a full-fledged debate in the comment section. This guy, a Buddhist monk, Nick, I don't remember his name, but you guys can check it out. His name is, let me just search it and tell you, Nick. Buddhism. Nick, I don't know his name. Keomho. Fuck it, I don't know his name is very complicated. So Nick something. So he's a monk. He has grown a lot, and this is what I've seen, man. When you are trying to fool people up, you grow very rapidly on social media platform. When you are trying to show your life to be very beautiful and very peaceful, but people like me who are trying to show the real filth of what the world is actually about, people don't tend to listen to. And by the way, I believe the count of dislikes might have gone to 200 on that video which I was talking about the other day. So I'm enjoying the dislikes. And by the way, people, I've got a haircut done, so and got my beard.
I think I'm due for a haircut.
Yeah, I've got my haircut done. So this is what it is.
Could use a shave too.
Yeah.
A little bit of a trim, I think.
People have been suggesting me to shave my beard off, but no, I want to just see how it grows into a jungle, a forest. I want to see my forest.
I mean, most wise people have big ass beards.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's become a fad, you know. The thing is, people tend to link long beard, in India specifically, long beard to intellect. So there is this guy I know who had come up into the YouTube world, and he was talking about atheism, and he was talking about Hinduism, Islam on YouTube. And this is what happened to me, because when you see someone who is talking using jargons, you know, talking in modern slang, and he's having a beard, you tend to relate this person to be some kind of a very, very modern guru, or a very, very modern spiritual enlightened being. And later did I know that he was a shitty person, and I had a conversation with him through a Google Meet. He was a fucking fake person. He's the fakest person which you can ever come across. And what he did was, he had a breakup. Obviously, many of these people are having their breakup, and they think that we are going to change our lives, we are going to change other people's life, we are on a spiritual journey. They take up spirituality, meditation, and they're like, fucking. He started off with talking about nofap, you know, spirituality, atheism, and moved towards political shit all of a sudden, because he was getting views from there, talking about Olympics and politics. What the fuck are you talking about, man? You know, he was like, this is what I should be talking about. And a couple of people were you know, retaliating towards his content, giving you know, this, saying that this is what you came for. You came in for teaching people about spirituality, but now you're playing for views.
Yeah.
So, and he's having a beard. People are subscribing him because he's having a beard. And I have seen this. I'll be really honest with you, Matthew. I've seen, when I shave my beard off, you know, when I'm having this, you know, a stubble beard, the the ladies' viewership on my channel grows rapidly. And when I'm having, and my subscriber rate comes down. And when I grow my beard, my subscriber rate just goes on. Because they are having this psychological or subconscious tuning that he's a bearded guy. He might be very mature. He might be an enlightened being.
Well, I have a really cool story about my beard.
Yeah. Go on.
I was buying alcohol and I shaved. I look like a man-child whenever I shave. That's why I don't shave anymore. I went to buy some alcohol and it goes, ID, please. I'm like, what? Okay, so showed up my ID. Alright, as soon as I have a beard, no one questions.
Yep.
Not once. Whenever I've been to buy alcohol, nothing.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Because whenever I shave, I look like 7 years younger or something. But when I have this, I look like a 30-year-old. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. People tend to respect you when you have a beard, and I've seen this. I've had an observation towards this. So when I was going to my university, I had my beard. This was before lockdown. I had my beard shaven. So that guy was like, "Where are you going?" He was in a very aggressive tone. He was, "You should have your ID and all this shit. Where are you coming from?" I didn't have my ID, college ID. You're not allowed to go inside the premise if you're not having a college ID. So after 4 or 5 months, I got I had my full-fledged, you know, garden here. So the thing is, I didn't go without my ID. I went there and didn't. It was the same guard. He was having the same duty on the same gate, and he didn't utter a single word. He just let me in. I don't know. So. Someone is asking how one can control demon inside oneself. What's the definition of demon for you?
I think what it means is like the one term. It's just like, you know, whenever bad shit's going. Like for some people, it's like eating too much or getting angry thoughts and all that. My solution: philosophy. It always tends to work because it gives you there's the tools to deal with it. demons inside your head, but also it can teach you to teach others as well. So it's a tool I must use. Like, I don't know what school of thought for that tool. It all depends on the individual, isn't it? It's just you need to figure it out. You need to figure yourself out. Like, all right, what's my problem? All right, my problem's this. Google it, ask a friend, ask a family, or something, and find out that solution and use the solution. Don't just like leave it to the wind. You gotta sort that shit out.
If you're talking about demon which is destroying you, or the demon, Kuldeep, this question is for you. Because I said about this demon, unleashing this demon inside of you, and what I had written an essay which was like, there is this angel voice inside of you. If you consider angel and demon, which is a very poetic shit, but still, if you consider this angelic voice and demonic voice, right? So the angelic voice, what it tends to do is it tends to babysit you, right? Like, you want to wake up at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning and go for a workout, go for a run, and the angelic voice, and this happens to most of us. We are all cozy in our bed, warm bed, and having a good night's sleep, and the angelic voice is like, you slept very late at night, you should not be waking up, or the whole day would go unproductive, you should rest yourself up, you should not burn yourself down, just go to sleep, don't wake up, just go to sleep. And the demonic voice is like, just motherfucker, wake up, just go out there and kill the shit out of everyone, just kill the shit out of your competition. So that's your demonic voice. So your demonic voice is like trying to get your ass up and get your chores done. So there was this essay which I wrote, which was inspired by a guy named David Goggins. If you would have heard about him, have you heard about David Goggins?
No.
You should be listening to him. That guy he's a crazy ass guy. He's a crazy ass dude, man. He's just crazy, but his philosophy is very strong. You should be. It's like about suffering, but how can you overcome? That's the true, practical philosophy about existentialism.
Yeah.
So he's just pumping you up. And that guy has run around, I don't know, hundreds of marathons, which are 200, 300 kilometers long. And he's like running, his kidney has failed, and he's peeing his pants, peeing blood, and shitting his pants, still running. And he has made the world record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours, like 5,000 or 4,500 pull-ups. He's a retired American Navy SEAL. Navy SEAL. He's a guy which you should be looking into. His philosophy is quite strong, if people are able to grasp it. So it's all about callousing your mind, for situations that you should be prepared for, right? So that is why I was somewhere or the other able to overcome my father's demise, because of that callousing your mind mentality. Because you can come across any such situation in any walk of your life. You should be prepared, braced. You should be braced for such stuff. Akash is saying, I think we should try to make peace with our demonic side and embrace it, but never let it take control of ourselves. Yep. That is what the premise of my video on Fight Club was. Have you seen the movie Fight Club, Matthew?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Number one rule: don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Matthew is not into cricket. So Akash is saying, are you following T20 Cricket World Cup, Matthew? How is cricket craze in Australia?
Oh, Aussies are very much into their cricket. It's like a religion.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
And Australia too.
I've played a bit of cricket. I'm an excellent batsman.
Okay.
I'm a really shitty runner though.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one time I was being a cheeky little bugger. I usually have to hold about 2 hands. I held it with 1.
Okay.
I was just being a little cheeky. Someone threw. I don't know. I think it was luck. I smacked that ball. I went all the way over. I'm like,
it feels so good,
hell
man.
yeah.
It feels so good. Yeah.
Cricket bats are like really heavy. Like,
Yep. It's quite
I've
heavy.
noticed a lot of cricketers. They like their forearm is like really muscly there. So yeah, when you're doing that swinging motion, that's
you use your
mainly
wrist.
working your forearm. Yeah,
You
and the
use your
wrist
wrist
too.
a lot.
Yeah. I've also been hitting the balls by a cricket ball. Yeah. Ain't pretty. Because I remember I was in high school doing cricket, and this dude, I don't know what he did. You know how they do like that? And I know this dude, he went like that. Got me right in the jewels. Oh, I didn't feel anything for a couple of days. I'm surprised everything was still functioning afterwards.
That guy hit your baby
That's
maker.
probably why I don't like cricket.
Yeah.
When I think about it, like, oh, my balls.
Yeah. Matthew's experience on getting hit on the baby maker.
Yeah. And cricket balls, they're tough, leathery balls. So like,
that's very tough.
Not a good feeling. Not a good feeling.
Yeah, I had been playing cricket. So these fast bowlers who are in the district level or the state level, they bowl really fast. And the ball, if you are not able to hit the ball, and if the ball hits you, if you're not having any padding on, right, on your thighs, I didn't have a thigh guard on. The ball hit my thigh, and it left. After a couple of days, it was like someone hit me with a cannonball. It was all blacked out. The region where the ball hit, and it's like 120, 130 clicks. The ball is coming at you at 120 clicks. It's pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
So
cricket can be a bit scary though.
Yeah.
I don't know why the ball has to be so like tough and leathery.
Yeah.
Like, why can't they make it soft?
Yeah.
You know, just soft.
It's one of the Australian cricketer died also. You know, he was Phil Hughes. His name was Phil Hughes. So he was hit on the neck.
Didn't a cricket ball land right in his temple or something?
On his neck.
Was it here?
Yeah. This vein which you see, it got compressed, which caused a brain hemorrhage. So he died in the hospital, which is the rarest of rare. Nobody has died like this. So, but it still was very. So that was a very black moment. And when this happened, I was in my 9th or 10th standard, and what our teacher, PT teacher, the teacher who you would know, you would get the reference, PT teacher. Our PT teacher didn't allow us to play with the leather ball, and he took that away from us and gave us that tennis ball and said play with this shit, and it was like, so it's
man, I suck at tennis. I've always been great at serving, but
I've been playing tennis.
I'm short and stubby, so I'm like just trying to hit the bloody balls. Like, I hate tennis.
Yeah,
that's like a tall person's sport. I'm good at basketball though, so I've never been good at throwing it, but I'm good at stealing them.
I had played tennis for like 8 or 9 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm good at tennis. So I hate basketball, though. I hate basketball and volleyball because once the ball came and landed on my finger like this, and it was all swelled up for a couple of days. I wasn't able to move it. I think I broke my finger. I didn't know it. I was just hiding it from my parents. So I hate tennis. So not tennis, basketball, volleyball. I can play football. I can play cricket. I can play badminton, table tennis. I've won a couple of medals in table tennis as well.
Oh yeah, I'm good at table tennis. Good at that.
Yeah,
good at that.
Yeah,
I also love dodgeball. Dodgeball.
No, I haven't played that.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't played
that. Dodgeball's great fun. Just don't get hit.
Is it the game where you try to hit someone with the ball, and if they get tagged, they are out of the game? Then I played that. We have played with that with the sponge ball, so it didn't hurt so badly. So we used to play. Someone is asking. Coming back to we had fun. So coming back to our discussion here. Have you seen Dead Poet Society? Both of you. What's the Dead Poet Society? Are you having any references to it? Both of us
Dead Poet Society.
going towards Google to Dead Poet Society. Acha, it's a film. Okay, that's a film. Nope, we haven't seen it. Try to engage
never heard of it.
Oh.
Dead Poet Society.
Mm,
Sounds like a fun society.
I don't know. So I haven't. So I was watching a movie yesterday. I'm watching many movies nowadays. I was watching The Maze Runner.
Ah, yeah.
That's
Me and my friends all watched it. We all support Wicked.
You'll support Wicked.
Yeah. All right. So this is my understanding here, right? Wicked is using tasers and non-lethal technology, but what are the rebels using? Full high caliber guns, killing all the damn Wicked.
Yeah, that's what the thought was inside of me. That you're killing people. They are just. I believe they're using that because those children were very important for them, so they didn't want them to get hurt. But they were killing them. Yeah.
Also, it's a reasonable sacrifice, to save humanity. Like, it's worth it. And then, because me and my friends were all up in arms saying, the movie's trying to say that Wicked is bad, but in reality they're good. They're trying to do the villainous thing to achieve a great goal. And there's no other way to do it but to get those kids, extract them so that they could save the human population. Like, that's a good thing. I mean, it's pretty shit for the children, but I mean, you'll be remembered as humanity's saviors, their heroes. But they have have you seen all three?
Yep.
Yeah, and in the end, they just have this shitty little teenage camp. That's it.
Yeah.
Just that shitty little camp.
Yeah. Besides the beach.
Teenage romance, man. It's shit. That's basically what it is.
That's what happened when you are trying to, take out trilogies or trilogy, whatever it is, trilogy.
Trilogies,
trilogies, and trying to make sequels to a movie. You don't have any premise or any plot left to the movie, so you try to swing things around and whatever people like, love, drama. And I was in a very horrendous dilemma when I was watching that movie. I was having the same situation as you were stating, which is I was like, these people from Wicked are doing a good job. I mean, not a good job, not a very ethical job, but still they are trying to save humanity. And these people are just, running away and trying to show themselves as Captain America or Captain whatever it is.
Yeah. And just killing. While Wicked's using all this non-lethal stuff. They're just
Yep.
killing.
Yeah. The first part was
pretty good. It made no sense to me. Yeah, the first one was good. The first one was good. Yeah.
Because it kept you
just went like shit.
Yeah, because it kept you in a mystery, in a sense of mystery. What comes next? And movies having a plot like this which keeps you in a mystery from the first scene itself is the best movie, I believe, because you're hooked into the movie for the whole period of time.
Almost it leaves you to your imagination.
Yeah.
That's the best bit.
Yeah. You can run your imagination. You can have the wildest of imaginations. Akash is saying dystopian future movies like Maze Runner are quite dark. Makes me disturbed. Yeah.
Really? I get the opposite. I think
it's pretty cool, man.
I think there's just too many positive and happy stuff that we'd rarely ever see, like the really depressing shit. It's it's why I don't really watch all that many movies anymore, because like they're A, so predictable, B, they're just super happy and I hate that. It's like, no, I want something realistic. I want something depressing. I want to see something cool.
Same here.
Like what's a good dystopian one? I should know this because I'm a nerd. I should really know this. 1984.
Yeah, you told
that
about
movie.
Yep, I have to
that
see
movie.
that. 1984. I have to see that.
depressing as
Yes, yes,
all
yes, yes.
hell. um.
You know, people
Oh
consider
yeah.
people consider these movies to be very disturbing. When I saw the Maze Runner Part 3, they were showing the capital, right? This
Yeah.
this boundaried premise in which this capital is there. I was thinking I should have a house here in this building.
Yeah.
I should be living
Yeah.
here. This is
It's
so
just like,
beautiful,
oh,
man. Zombie
yeah.
apocalypse going outside and you are living inside. Such a
Excellent
beautiful life.
entertainment too.
Yeah.
Just bring some of your mates. All right, I'm bored. Let's go kill some zombies.
Yeah. Zombie hunting. Just take out your
Yeah.
bows and arrows and just go out there
Yeah.
hunting zombies.
Yeah, you and me got a bow and arrow. Just go.
Yep. It would be fun, man. It would be fun.
Yeah.
Do you await a zombie apocalypse? Do you think that we should go through a zombie apocalypse? For a couple of reasons. First, people should know the value of people and the value of humanity, the planet, the value of this planet. And the second is just to, fucking kill people.
The depopulation, all that. Yeah. Sadly, I don't think a zombie apocalypse will ever happen. If it's the really slow zombies, then yeah, like just anyone can just gun them down easily. And if we do lose, well, I'm sorry, well, they're just gonna send in nukes. If they're really, have you seen World War Z?
Yep, that's my favorite zombie movie of all time.
If the zombies like that, we are fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, no, don't even bother. They're lightning quick and they have the ability to solve problems. I liked how they stacked on top of a pile to go through a wall.
That was a legit zombie movie, to be very honest. The whole sequence was very legit, That was not very, it wasn't like very illogical movie, not having any solid, they were backing the shit with solid scientific stuff. Like this is how.
And like you have to be really sick for them to avoid you.
Yeah,
that can make sense in my head. Because you're eating flesh. I think the worst one would be the zombies from I Am Legend.
Yeah, those are creepy.
They're the super. Yeah, they're the super smart.
Those are very strong
zombies.
also. Those are very strong too. But the pandemic which we faced was like a zombie apocalypse, but people not eating each other. But still, it was like a zombie apocalypse that you cannot come in contact with someone and people were dying. It is the same story.
Yeah, the streets are all empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when COVID was at its peak, especially in Australia. Everyone had these normal masks, but I was like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna be the different guy. I have some really cool shit. Everyone had their normal masks. Me, nah.
Yep.
Gas mask.
I've seen that in your Facebook profile picture when I was talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, screw it, I got this gas mask. It passes. Do it. So I was walking around grocery stores and all in my gas mask. Going, hello.
Yeah, that's how you sound.
It was one. So many people give me strange looks and other people taking photos. And like, yeah. I'm surprised I wasn't arrested.
People were taking photos of you when you wore that mask. If back here in India, if I tend to wear that mask, people would just run the fuck away from me and lock themselves into their houses, thinking me to be some sort of militant.
A lot of people did like walk away as well as soon as I approached. Don't blame them. Some weird bastard with a weird ass gas mask. Looking for food or like, yeah, no. Yeah.
People tend to appreciate weird shit in first world countries. That's what I believe, because in India,
it's because everything's so normal.
Yeah.
Everything's just wake up, go to work, watch something, I guess, or play a video game or read a book or something and then head to bed. Rinse and repeat. And when something weird comes around, just cool. Like when me and my friends, we all love our medieval combat or just armoring up we all armored up
Mm.
and we're going around the streets, and so people just like, oh, it's so cold.
Mm.
Because yeah,
Mm.
because I love going in armor. I have actual Roman legionnaire armor,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, so cool, so
Mm.
comforting too, especially in Aussie heat. Because all the people in medieval armor, they're just like, they got thick leather padding and all, and the Aussie heat dying down. Me was going, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had nothing below. I just had my tunic,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's wonderful.
This is one curious question which I had in my mind, because I've seen the diet of people in North America, Europe. What's your diet like? People in Australia?
My diet. So usually people eat what's called wheat bix.
Okay, what's that?
Crap, how do I explain it?
It's what it's made of. I mean,
mainly wheat.
okay, wheat.
Hence wheat bix. It's like biscuit sort of. Hold up, I'll be right back.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll actually show it to you. I just gotta get through my door. Just gotta find it.
Hopefully, you people would be enjoying the weird stuff that we are talking about. You should be enjoying this. Yeah.
Got it.
I'm starting to feel hungry now, man. Wheat bix. Okay.
Breakfast of Aussies and cricket. See, we Aussies love our cricket, and it's really healthy stuff.
Okay.
It's coated in milk.
Okay.
The stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, and you just coat it in milk, and yeah.
So you just eat it
really,
like
really healthy stuff.
You just tend to eat it like that, or you tend to fry it?
Well, no, it's a proper cereal.
Cereal.
Yeah, you just
that's a
plop
cereal.
the milk in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cereal. You just plop the milk in the bowl, put your spoon in.
Okay, that's for the breakfast, right?
That's for breakfast. For lunch, usually people eat like sandwiches, wraps,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different stuff. I myself, either I'll eat porridge. I love my porridge.
Okay.
Love that stuff.
Porridge.
Or my healthy chicken, vegetable. Shit, I don't know what to call it. I call it healthy chicken. Because it's like all these vegetables and spices in this chicken. It's like, healthy stuff.
I'm starting to feel hungry. And for like the majority of the people, like for example, like when you all sit together, whole family, do you sit together and eat, all of the family on one single dining table? And
yes and no. Like it depends on the family type. If it's a really big family, generally they'll eat together. But if it's a small family, it's just like eat wherever. I just eat wherever. I mainly eat in my room generally.
I like to eat alone, but my father was like very stubborn to this fact that the family should be eating together when they are together. They should be eating together, enjoying the food without having any electronic gadget in their hand or watching television, whatever that is. So do you guys have the non-veg in your diet is very, very little, or you guys tend to have non-vegetarian?
Usually it's meat with vegetables, and maybe with a side of mashed potatoes. That's the very common dish.
Okay.
I mean, I've had that ever since I was little. Just like a piece of meat, could be like steak, could be sausages, could be pork or whatever, and with vegetables, mashed potatoes. That's a barbecue sauce to it. Done. That's generally it. And that's very common in most Aussie families. Just have like meat veggies for dinner.
So what's the primary meat? It's pork or beef or chicken?
It could be whatever. It's mainly the three types: chicken, pork, lamb.
Have you
steak.
tried kangaroo?
Kangaroo? Yes, I have.
Have you tried the meat of kangaroo? Is it good?
Yum. Yeah.
Kangaroo,
like
alligator, crocodile, not alligator, crocodile, whatever.
Croc. No, I haven't.
I want to taste that shit. I want to taste it.
I don't think you can have crocodile meat.
Yeah, I've heard that they are having farms in Florida, USA, where they harvest crocodile meat, and they're using the skin for purses and all of that stuff. And I don't know for in
Yeah.
Australia if they're
It's
eating.
yeah. We get croc farms in Australia, but the croc meat you'll find in like the really rural towns.
Mm-hmm.
You won't find them in like cities or like bigger towns, just like the really small towns. Probably because they don't have access to major meats, so they've got to use local resources. But yeah, I've never had croc meat. I wouldn't mind giving it a go.
Yeah,
But
me
I've
too,
had
man.
kangaroo meat, and it's
What my dream is,
just
what my
insane.
dream life, what I want to do is, I want to have a house in the woods, not very dense wood, dense bushy wood. Have a bow arrow with me. Have a hunting rifle, whatever it is with me. Have a blowgun with me because I've been a blowgun hunter, and you just go out there, hunt small game, be it rabbit, be it rabbit, be it pigeon, and just have it for dinner or lunch, whatever it is, and write books.
Yeah.
And that's my dream life. So that's very weird considering me coming from an Indian background, but still I like that. I've been that kind of.
That's like most people, really. I mean, it's a very common thing in Australia and just all around the world. Just get a place in the middle of nowhere. Just
in India, the ideal life is you get a good. You get good grades in your class 12th, grade 12th, then you get a good university, top university, you get a good job, right? You get married to a good wife who is also working. Nowadays everyone now wants a working wife. 50 years ago everyone wanted wife from a village because she would be very very innocent, not cheating on you. But nowadays people want wives who are working. Then you have kids, you should be educating your kids, you should be having a car, a house. These are the benchmarks the society set for us. And
it's the same everywhere else too.
Yeah, man. So that's what the life is about. You should be having a couple of houses. That's a good life. A government job, the top priority should be a government job. So me getting a job in place of my father, everyone is just hyped up that you should be taking up this job because you are having a fixed salary. Nobody's gonna kick you out of the company. You are gonna have many benefits, many perks here. Medical is gonna be free and gas is gonna be free. Everything is gonna be free. So have a government job, settle with a good wife, and before dying.
That sounds a bit too normal and I can't imagine myself with that sort of thing. Like and
before dying you should be covering all of your responsibilities, like marriage of your kids. Then you can die peacefully. That's your death in peace. Then when your kids get married, you are away from all your responsibilities. Then you can die in peace. Fuck it, that takes too much of a time, so I'm not up for it.
That sort of mentality is definitely not in Australia.
Yep.
Just marry off your kids.
Yeah, that's
definitely not nowadays. I don't think it was ever like that ever before. Although I can imagine a lot of corporations would do that. I like logically in my head.
Corporations
just marrying. Yeah, well, let's say big corporations with their children's marrying them off because they're like the modern day lords, aren't they? Controlling. And if your son is an executive of that company, you're an executive of this company, that means you have power of most or a lot of power in both companies, and it's more moolah to you.
But I enjoy a caveman life.
Same.
It's very peaceful, writing books, just pouring your thoughts onto a piece of paper. That's what I want to do. That's why I hustle. I try to hustle so that I could accomplish that, collect some fund, some amount of money so that I could invest it and sustain myself even without working anywhere or for someone. Sustain myself, have a decent life. So that's a good life for me. So this is it. And You should take that job. It's necessary to support your family for now, and then you can do what you want. Yeah. For the time being, that is what I'm thinking forward to doing. So let's see. Time will tell. Not peeking too much into the future. Not peeking too much into the future. So that's what you're drinking, man.
Shit, what is it? Yorkshire tea.
Oh,
love that stuff.
Okay.
English breakfast.
So it's just tea boiled, or it's with milk, combined with milk. Or
Milk.
It's milk tea.
Usually, people in Australia follow the English rules. So you have your tea bag, put the tea bag in, put your boiled water in, leave that sit and settle for 3 minutes. Put your milk in, stir it up, and then add sugar or no sugar.
We Indians can't live without tea. We have to start our day with tea, and we end our day with tea. Tea is like tea in a nutshell, or as a product, is very philosophical in itself, because tea is something food cannot bring Indians together. Festivals might not bring Indians together, but tea is something which brings everyone together.
Tea has been steeped in deep in history. I mean, when the British Empire first settled in in India, they noticed a lot of tea was there, and they tried to export that to the world for a price. And then the American Revolution, the Americans dumped a whole lot of tea into the water as a sign of, fuck you to the British. Sadly, that's a lot of tea gone. That could have been drunk or sold. They could have sold that for their war funds, but no, they just dumped it in the water. Waste of fucking good tea.
That's what happens when you are very much hyped up when you are in a revolution. That's what happens. So where I was living in Assam, so that state was filled with tea gardens. Wherever you see, there are tea gardens, because India is the primary producer of tea for the world.
So what kind of tea do you drink?
It's normally, there are many kinds of tea here. Many kind of trees. There are teas which are grown in the southern region of India. There are teas which comes from, the best tea is considered to be the Darjeeling tea. So if you find Darjeeling tea in Australia, that would be the most expensive one. So Darjeeling tea has a very striking aroma, very strong aroma, and it's very costly here. So there are many tea companies back here in India. So we rate the quality of tea according to the grains it's having. So the finer the grain, the lower the quality. The thicker the grain, the better the quality of the tea. And green tea is obviously the most expensive one, because we went to a tea estate. Our school took us there for a tour, a tea estate. So they were having a factory. They showed us the process of producing tea. So they had I don't know, my whole room was filled. The whole room up till the top was, they were having this room, and it was filled with tea bags, big tea bags, and at the side of it they were having a heap which was a very small heap. I don't know, just this much big heap, and that was of green tea. And they said that this is the gold which we have extracted. So they consider it to be the green gold. Of 100 tons you get only 500 kgs of green tea, or 1 ton of green tea.
I mean, there was even a point where tea was worth more than gold.
Yep.
At one point in the world. I mean, how cool was that? I mean, actual tea was worth more than gold. Bit crazy to think.
Tea and indigo. Indigo also became very expensive. Indigo, the dye which they use to, color stuff. That indigo color. The name indigo has come from the same plant indigo. So they used to harvest indigo, but I don't know. But people started using it as an opioid, whatever that name.
Okay. Yeah,
opioid. So that is it. So they came up with synthetic many synthetic stuff has spoiled the market. Many nylon has spoiled the jute market. Synthetic coloring has spoiled the indigo market, and that's synthetic drugs have spoiled
If ever I
Colombia.
go to India, I'd love to try like the really local source of tea. Oh yeah.
Local tea. How
One
local tea
day.
is made? Local tea is made by brewing. What we do normally, we tend to do is we brew tea or tea bag in water and then add milk and sugar, and then just drink it up. In India, there are varieties of tea that you would get. So they brew tea. When they're boiling water, and they add ginger, a small piece of ginger into it. Yeah, ginger tea.
Okay.
You should try that. When you are boiling water, just add a little bit of ginger. Ginger to it, and then when the water starts turning a little bit green, then add your tea bag, add your this sugar, whatever it is, and add your milk. It's gonna be epic. They add cardamom, they add ginger, many of them add cinnamon sticks, many of them add rose petals, to give that.
I've heard of that one, rose petals. I've heard of that one.
Yeah, so there are many aromatic. They have come up with this. Have you heard of the name tandoori chicken or tandoori something?
Tandoori chicken.
Yes, tandoori naan.
Yeah. I've heard
It's like a barbecue chicken in a very Indian style. So it's like you are having this big mud piled tub, kind of a tub, and it's having charcoal inside of it. You barbecue the chicken. It's like barbecue, and you just put the chicken onto it, and it gets roasted, whatever, barbecued, and it's having all these Indian sauces. So people have come up with tandoori chai. Chai is tea in India. Chai means tea.
Yeah.
So they have come up with tandoori tea. So in small pots, they keep the pots in the coal. They take it out and then they pour the tea in, and it gives it an aromatic flavor, an aromatic smell of earth. The same when it rains, it starts raining, the smell of earth that you get, that smell, that the same smell you get. Why are we talking this? But still, meant to be a philosophical podcast, but still we should have some fun.
Yeah. And just ease off a little bit,
Yeah. So that's pretty. And like when I was a Muslim, the major problem which we were having was, like, we went to Canada, we went to London. My father took us for some tour that he was having, official tour. So we went there, we lived there for 1 month, and the major problem which we were facing, that we were not able to eat non-vegetarian food outside. Why? Because Muslims have this rule that they cannot eat non-veg everywhere. So they have this class of meat which is halal and haram. So
yeah, I've heard of that before.
Yeah. Halal meat is like you slit the throat of the animal, and let the blood rush out, and you recite a couple of Quran, lines from Quran, just to pay respect to the animal or to God, whatever that shit is, and you slice the throat of the animal and let the blood out. That's the ethical way of killing an animal. And there is this other way of killing an animal in which they just chop off the neck and kill it in just jiffy. So it was we were not able to taste many European dishes and North American dishes because of the same reason. Everywhere where we went, we had to ask, is the meat halal? Is the meat haram? So this is now, finally, I've come out of that. So
you can try as many cuisines as you wish.
Yeah, I'm not too much into that, but still I'd not touch pork and alcohol just to pay respect to my father, because still he had his sentiments attached to the religion, so I'd not hurt him if the soul or consciousness might see me, whatever it is, but I'm not too much into that. So this is what it is. Yesterday I got visited by my uncle, my paternal uncle. So he looks very much similar to my father, and so I was just, it was very difficult for me yesterday because he was looking like my father, and I thought I was getting the feeling that my father has come to pay me a visit, and the same body language, same eyes, same smile, same way of talking, but he got beard and wears that cap all Muslims do. But so yesterday was a bit difficult for me, because it becomes difficult. Yeah, because it becomes difficult. You haven't seen your father since 7 or 8 months, and you're not gonna see your father until you die. Until, I'm not trying to say that there is an afterlife, you'll meet your father there, but I'm saying I'm not gonna see my father ever. So seeing someone who resembles like my father,
that would be
it's very difficult, very difficult. And I was home alone yesterday. My mother and sister had gone to my uncle's, my maternal uncle's side. So that's what it is. So what I do is, this is a very great tip for all of you out there. What I do is, whenever I'm feeling heavy, I take out a pen and pencil and I try pouring out my philosophical shit onto the piece of paper. My pain through words, my pain. So what people do is, this is what I try. This is a message which I want to give each and every one of you. You people take philosophy to be very, very vague or very, very fantasy kind of shit. Philosophy is very filled with fantasy. But for me, if you ask me, I do not preach philosophy because I consider it to be a fad, or consider it to be very fancy, but I preach philosophy to pour my heart out onto a piece of paper. It's a medium for me to channel my thoughts. What's your take on that, Matthew?
Yeah, whenever I felt sad or irritated or anything, I would just read a bit of Stoic philosophy, and then just like, everything's gonna be good. Things go. I just reflect on how good my life is. Yeah, like how a lot of people have it a lot worse, or things like that. It's good.
What is the lowest point? What is the lowest point that you have felt in your life, ever?
Lowest point in my life. That was probably lowest point in my life. See, it's a bit hard when you're a Stoic. We've been a Stoic for so long. Lowest point. Lowest point. I can't even remember. But yeah, whenever I just felt sad, I'd either meditate. I'd just
Is it when you embrace Stoicism? Is it why you embrace Stoicism? I mean, there might be some point in your life where you got introduced to Stoic philosophy. And why was that so?
Well, for me, I just naturally molded myself in it because
okay, acha, I get it.
Yeah, I was a Stoic without even realizing I was a Stoic.
Yeah, that has happened to me. Yep.
It's generally because I'm actually mildly autistic.
Yep.
So I had to learn emotions as they go. But I was naturally logic and calm. That was like my two core principles in dealing with life. And when I found out Stoicism is pretty much the same thing, I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's why I become more in depth into Stoicism and philosophies. Realize, I've been philosophical before I even realized. Yeah.
That has happened to me. Yep.
Yeah. But learning emotions is quite interesting because philosophy taught me to observe and take note. Maybe sometimes interfere, but generally to observe, study all your surroundings, absorb the environment, and you learn lots that way.
So observing got you into Stoicism, right? You didn't take up Stoicism because you heard someone saying that Stoicism is very good. You should be following Stoicism. It's like forcing yourself to follow Stoicism or to embrace Stoicism. But you molded yourself into Stoicism, and then you got to know, let me see how many more people are there who are following this same ideology as I'm having, or is there any ideology which I am facing? So you got into Stoicism. That's what happened to me. I was having this sort of I didn't read anything, so I can very confidently say that I was not influenced by anyone. So I was facing this stuff since even before starting philosophy. I was having a problem, which I told you, ruminating about the past. I was very much crippled down by depression. I was like, I would never get out of it. My life has just crippled down. Everything, the vision for me became dark. The literal vision, everything seemed to be, the colors seem to be a little faded. The taste seemed to be a little faded. That's the red flag for depression. That's in the core of depression. Nobody was able to help me. So the thing was, my father used to take me to psychologists. That is what the thing is, and I have troubled my father a lot. I didn't tell him why I was visiting, why I was taking, because my father accompanied me everywhere where I went to. He didn't leave me be. So this is a couple of years ago. So he has spent a few $1,000 on me, 1,000 rupees on me for psychologists. And the thing is, from there my journey started, that why am I not able to get a solution? I'm having my religion. Islam is considered to be something which is the solver of your problem, as these people claim themselves to be. Why am I not getting a solution for my problem? And what happened is, slowly but steadily, I was getting, these curtains started unveiling themselves. And then recently, like 3 or 4, this is a long journey, man. People think that this is a short journey, like you watch some video and the next day you are a philosopher. You become a stoic, you become an existentialist. And a couple of months ago, I realized that this is the field of philosophy which I find myself into, which is existentialism. I'm pretty good at it, because I'm talking from the bottom of my heart, very poetic shit, but still I'm talking from deep within. These thoughts are very much in pain, So this is what it is. When I overcame my depression, I thought that now this is the green patch for me. This life is going to be very easy for me. But then demise of my father, which is a lifelong scar, because it's the story would have been very different if my father would have gone in an accident or in a heart attack, sudden heart attack, cardiac arrest, whatever that is. But my father went away begging for life. His stats were showing everything. He was begging for life, that I want to save myself, please do something for me. But there was no oxygen back here in India. So this is a very different story. We were not able to attend his funeral. The hospital people went away and buried him. So nobody expects your close one to die in such a manner. So this is something which comes from my heart, the philosophy so that's what I just wanted to convey to all these people who are watching, that because when they saw you, Matthew, I just say this, it might be a good thing for them. When they saw you, the first podcast we had, couple of people were into philosophy. They wanted to embrace stoicism, and I was like, don't do that, please. Don't get influenced by someone. You should be getting into stoicism, but don't call yourself to be a stoic, for God's sake. If God exists, don't call yourself to be a stoic, man. That's not how you become stoic. What's your take on that? People claiming themselves to be someone who they are not.
Stupid. And it will consume them mentally every single day. And eventually they'll just forget the whole fakeness and get molded into it. That's just how it works. And if it's a very dangerous thing, especially for philosophy, especially if someone like us finds someone that they're philosophical, we go like, question time. See how you go, boy. And then they just get destroyed, and eventually they'll start to believe the lie. And then if someone like us were to crush them down, they'll affect them pretty deep. So it's always good to remain true to yourself, no matter what. Because nothing's worse than believing your own lie.
Yep, that's a very beautiful line, man. Believing your own lie. Considering this illusion to be your reality, what the majority of people are doing. Getting influenced by people. So this is what happened in my community. People were, after the first podcast, they were like, please ask Matthew to suggest me some books. And I said, I'm not gonna ask him to suggest you some books, because you're just getting influenced by someone. No, I mean, no hard feelings for you, but the thing is,
it's all good.
but the thing is, you should first, join in with us in a couple of more podcasts. Get to know why Matthew actually embraced Stoicism. Get to know the roots. You can't just judge a person on why he's following a specific thing after one podcast. So they are the couple of people who are sitting here because they are very much interested in Stoicism. So I said that you should know why is Matthew into Stoicism. That is why I posed this question to you. Why did you come into Stoicism? And the answer was, very which these people should hear, that you should be molded according to that. So that
I mean, Stoicism, it approaches people's lives naturally. Now, you could be lucky like me, get naturally molded, or a great tragedy has befallen to someone, and then they can truly absorb Stoicism.
These people have watched a couple of YouTubers. There is one YouTuber who is Indian, living in North America, by the name Captain Sinbad. So he's made a video. He's made a parody video on life like a Stoic, a day in the life of a Stoic, or the video. You can watch that video by Captain Sinbad, and people are like going crazy after watching that video because they are like, this is a big influencer, and he's talking about Stoicism. Stoicism seems to be a very interesting name, very fancy shit. So we'll be Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, and he had a very life full of suffering, and he embraced Stoicism, and fuck, we are Stoics. We read a couple of books. We read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and we are Stoics. That's what the world is all about. Like, these people graduating with degrees, philosophical degrees, and they're calling themselves as philosophers, but still bounded by philosophy. Like, someone is saying there is a very good movie based on ideas of Martin Heidegger named Disney's Soul. Like, people are into Martin Heidegger. They don't know how dark of a person he was. He was a Nazist. He followed Nazism. He was a follower of Hitler. He used to support Hitler. So I do not appreciate his work because his work is a torture to read when you get too much into Martin Heidegger.
Here we go.
Yeah, Captain Sinbad.
Is it possible most people who get into philosophy are into philosophy because they failed in practical life? Yes and no. A lot of people approach philosophy because they want to develop the tools necessary for life. But it's also an intriguing thing to have other people who agree with your thoughts as well, like that collective thought. It's but people preach it to have a good life. Good life, a good existence, but that depends on the school of thought. Other school of thoughts is saying, like, have a good life, all that, but other thoughts are like, no such thing as good or bad, it's just life, deal with it. That's more existentialism. And then, of course, you have the Stoics. Who cares?
My take on this question is, philosophers are the ones who have succeeded in practical life. They are making life practical, to be very honest. Whatever we do, whether you are in a dilemma either to eat white chocolate or dark chocolate, you go through a philosophical transaction between you and your inner self, right? Because you have to make a choice. If you're eating dark chocolate, then that's good for your health. If your health's good, it's gonna keep you healthy. And if you're eating white chocolate, it can end up you being a fat ass. You don't want that. So that's what's happening. And this is what people do to pull people like us down, and they are just hiding behind their homes. They're not doing anything real. But I believe philosophers are the real game changers in this world, and it's true. You can change the whole facet of this world by your words, man.
I mean, everything moral, ethical, everything is determined by philosophy, science, logic, politics. Everything has its roots to philosophy. And having mastery of philosophy is almost like mastery of life itself. Because you can deal with life so much better than someone who's not very good at philosophy. I mean, that's like with me and my less philosophical friends. They're always dealing with shit. They're miserable as sin. They're desperate, depressed. Me, I'm like,
yep.
woo! I'm cool.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your misery.
And yeah.
Enjoy your misery.
Well, just more so I don't even experience that much misery in general because I'm so well attuned to philosophy. It's just life is good. Life is real good. Life is sweet. I mean, yeah. Work can be tiring. Reading more philosophy can be tiring, but I'm cool because I'm a philosopher.
Yeah. So I've been preparing for my lecture for the next video, which is on value theory, ethics. So I was going through ethics, a couple of people. You get to know many philosophers, who were not very prominent in the field of philosophy, but still they have good work. I was going through philosophy, the work of philosophers, Hume's law, ethics, the Izzard problem, that people tend to describe something and describe something which ain't like what you think it is. So this is what the world has become like. They just tend to come to conclusions based on facts, like saying that we evolved as meat eating animals, we should be eating meat. So but a vegetarian would say that I don't eat meat and it's not a compulsion onto me. So I was going through it, and someone is asking a question. So people who are still attached to that channel, Hindi channel on philosophy lecture, I'll definitely make the lecture today on value theory, and we'll cover aesthetics in the next lecture. But today you can give the lecture a view, and then we'll start with 11th and 12th philosophy and then UPSC philosophy. Let's see how that goes. Okay, Matthew, someone is asking, can you explain the ideology of communism? Have you?
Communism?
Yeah. I don't know much about
luckily, I know my politics quite well. I'm very well versed in my politics. Communism is is anti-class and anti-capitalist and anti-corporate. So basically, everyone is equal. There are no leaders. Every resource is distributed equally amongst its citizens. Depends on the amount of work you do. The more work you do, the more you get paid, basically. And it's horrible. It's impractical. We've seen it happen before. For one, you need a leader.
Okay.
Everything requires a leader. If you're a leader, you're a higher class.
Yeah.
Class in humanity and hierarchy is inevitable. You can't not have one. And distributing resources equally amongst work, well, that can't be determined either. Because I mean, like comparing a politician to an optometrist, how are you supposed to equalize between the two jobs? You can't. And then anti-money. Well, the economy is going to go to absolute shit. And we've sort of seen that in Russia, Soviet Russia, but that was more Stalinism. That was more military-like.
Dictatorship.
Communism
kind of dictatorship.
Yeah, and it went to shit. The resources were shit. People were dying in their thousands and thousands due to resource mismanagement.
Yep.
And communism is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's all bad. Karl Marx, I believe, theories.
Yeah, the Communist Manifesto. Yeah,
Marxism. Yeah. So you got the answer of your question. YouTube trend. Please, people, try to come up with your own accounts. It seemed to be some bot who is YouTube trend for fun. No intention to pull down. It was a genuine curiosity. Yeah, man, we were not. I was not, targeting you, but still, it was a very universal question, universal statement that people tend to pull philosophers down. They think themselves to be very. They think philosophers to be very shy and introvert and sitting behind the curtains. some kind of hijackers trying to hijack the world, Illuminati and shit. So, I think China is a good example of this. Yep, it might
Yeah, China's it's very much a communist area, and they're not doing too well. I even heard they had an economic crash pretty sure a few weeks ago.
Okay. I've heard a new theory that's coming out, which is the Chinese are fucking up with the Muslims there. So they are keeping the Muslims because they don't want the Muslims.
I have heard of that.
Yeah, they don't want the Chinese Muslim to mix up with the Buddhist Chinese or the other Chinese, Catholic Chinese, because they think Muslims have made their reputation like that. They have made it that they will spoil the crowd. So they are keeping them in concentration camps.
Yeah, I've heard about
killing
that.
them and
pretty
keeping
sad.
Yeah, but there is no news covering about them.
Yeah, well, it can't exactly enter China very easily.
Yeah, China nowadays. And Russia, both of them are very secretive.
Speaking of news and stuff, I've been hearing that India and Pakistan aren't really doing well.
They have never been doing well.
Apparently they're like really like backwards and forward and skirmish.
They have never been doing well. They have never been doing well. So if you see the map of India,
is that like an ancient feud? Is that like an old feud, or was that recent?
It's happened after 1950, after India and Pakistan got divided. India got divided after the British went away. So Muhammad Ali Jinnah was saying, I want to be the Prime Minister of India, and Jawaharlal Nehru was saying, I want to be the Prime Minister of India. So Mahatma Gandhi, he fucked up a little bit. So what he did was they went into a camp. All the people were out there surrounding them, and they were signing a pact. So what Mahatma Gandhi said, I believe Mahatma Gandhi, please correct my history if I'm wrong. So they divided India into 3 parts. India as if we know today, East Pakistan and West Pakistan, right? I believe West Pakistan has become West Pakistan has become Bangladesh as of now, and East Pakistan was Pakistan. So the thing is, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was given the prime ministership of all the Muslims, and all these people were asked to migrate from all the Muslims living here in India. They were given an option, either you stay here or go to Pakistan. So they had to take all their stuff. It was a partition kind of situation, a curfew kind of situation. So in a span of 1 week, they had to travel to Pakistan. All the Muslims living here and all the Hindus living there had to come to India. It was a massacre. Millions of people were killed in that. So it's still a dispute, because if you see the map of India, you see India showing Kashmir, half of Kashmir. If you would have heard of the word Kashmir into their map, and Pakistan is showing half of Kashmir into their map. So it's a dispute which is going in between them. So it's a fucked up situation. It's happened after 1950. So that's what it is.
Okay.
And because our forefathers chose to stay here in India, so they think that we are having some sort of blood on our hands, that we didn't go to Pakistan. Fuck, we were born here, man. We were born here. We are living here. We fought the British to take them out of this country. Why should we leave this country? So this is what the Muslims say. So the Uyghur Muslim and the world is silent. Okay, Uyghur Muslim, the name is of those Chinese Muslims.
Yeah.
Uyghur, whatever that is. So LOC dispute, line of control. So LOC line of control. LOC's full form is line of control. I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, that's what it is. So in the world of cricket also, this dispute creeps into the game between India and Pakistan. Is a very major game. So that's what it is. So we have completed the 2-hour mark, guys. So we'll sign off, and we'll not stretch the stream too much, because it would get very monotonous for every one of us, right? So thank you, people, for joining in. Please do share this podcast. Please do share this stream, because this is something which is what YouTube was made for, spreading knowledge and not watching prank videos. So please don't watch prank videos, and do share our video, like our video, do comment, do ask your doubts. Do Matthew, I'll ask Matthew to answer questions. If you ask any in the comment section, we can have a productive debate, but staying in your lines, staying in your pants, not getting out of it. People, please maintain that decorum and decency, right? So we'll be signing off. Thank you everyone.